And hello, everyone. This is Samuel, the right hand of Doom. We are here with Wandering Scarecrow.
Good morning.
ArcaneRazil, the beautiful and magnificent.
Hello.
We currently have Jenny and some weird crackling noises.
Coming from Razzle's end, actually.
Yes.
Razzle has crackling.
Sorry. Probably.
You share the roast pork right now, like
What?
to everyone. Share that roast pork because you've got tons of crackling.
I wish.
We also have Mama Midnight.
Hey.
We've got Skillful Prey.
Hello.
Zambia.
Hello, everyone.
SilentWolf.
Hey guys.
And, of course, Demon Girl, Jackie Lover, Rougie. She has so many titles and names.
None of them fit.
True.
Are you there, Rougie?
Roogie.
Clap your hands if you can hear. Don't clap your hands.
Sorry about that, folks. A little bit of a technical difficulty. Hi, by the way.
That is the voice of Johnny. Some of you will say that is the voice of something else, but that would probably be inappropriate.
And 5 minutes into this, and 5 minutes of wasted time for the stream.
Indeed. But hey, that's how we do.
We're just getting word now that Roogie can't be heard right now, so I will be translating everything into words from the chat. Just no
Why
one
does that
here.
sound like a bad idea?
Hold on, I'm gonna check something.
See, this is off to a wonderful start already, as you can tell.
There is no war embossing say. We have no technical difficulties.
She's actually very right.
I'd be more worried if we didn't, to be honest.
Very true. I mean, you know, that's just how live streams are, you know? Sometimes they go smoothly, most of the time they're just like horrible messes.
Yep.
So, yeah. No worries. No worries. But yes, tonight we will be playing Don't Get Me Started, as well as playing, well, I guess you wouldn't call it playing. We're actually going to be reading some creepypastas. Something we haven't done here in a while. Something I haven't done in a while, because let's face it, I'm just so active recently. So, we will give credit. Most of the stories that we'll be finding will be either stuff we wrote, stuff other people wrote. We'll give credit and everything. Everything should be on Night Lore or one of the free sites, so don't worry. That being said, there's also going to be a very special announcement for Laughably Dapper Entertainment at the very end of the video. So, yeah, wait for that. So we're going to keep you on your toes, as it were, yeah. And don't feel free to comment all you want.
Take your bets now that Doom is most likely going to forget it.
No, I won't forget it. It's too big of a secret. Why not?
The worst part is I don't even know what
If
you're
it was a
talking
secret, I wouldn't have mentioned anything about it in my interview.
True. It is the worst kept secret since... It is the worst kept secret since, I don't know.
The war
worst
embossing
kept.
say.
Yes. We'll go with that one.
Am I the only one here who doesn't know what he's talking about? I
Yes.
think I am.
Yes.
It's
Not
going to
an
be
Avatar
surprising you two.
This is why you should come to meetings, Johnny.
It is
I have
indeed
work.
the reason why you should come to meetings. That's okay. We will guilt trip you about that later.
Oh, God.
But wait,
Jackie, we all
let's
good?
see. Let's see if we can hear Roogie.
Are you talking?
the answers.
Dual tech difficulties.
Okay, I'm gonna do something really quick, and this is gonna seem mean, but there we go. I ejected her, and hopefully she'll be able to come back and actually talk with us like a human being. In the meantime, does someone want to explain the rules of Don't Get Me Started for the audience and also for me?
Because I was the one who brought it to Laughably Dapper. Basically, Don't Get Me Started came from a Tumblr post. Everyone has a topic that they're given. They have to speak for 1.5 minutes. I will be timing all this on the topic, and they have to rant about it. Rant about anything. I have a list of a few topics that I wrote down during the week. If we have enough people watching the live stream at this point, and if you want to see a topic come up, you can suggest it as you will. But I do have a list of wonderful topics, all of which will be so very inappropriate and funny to watch people actually talk about.
Yes.
Kids vacate now.
Or
Too
don't,
late.
it's, if your parents allowed you to be here, then,
Shame on them.
yeah.
If your parents know how filthy our mouths are and they still let you be here,
That sounds kind of wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to like wash yours out with soap, Zombie, by all means. I think I'm fine. Probably not, but eh.
I'm gonna just be silent.
That's my gig. Sorry.
Wonderful.
Indeed. I hope that I hope that by ejecting Ruji, I didn't.
There has been the problem before of whenever you eject someone, sometimes it means that they aren't allowed to join back. So let's hope that that's not the case.
Oh.
Spaghetti-o.
Oh, you realize?
Yeah. The drama and intrigue just continues.
Mm-hmm.
This is edge of your seat stuff, really.
I mean,
And-
yeah.
In the meantime, would someone care to get us started on Don't Get Me Started?
Any volunteers, or shall I just choose randomly from the list of victims?
Crow!
I volunteer as tribute.
Alright, Zambia. And now, Miss Zambia, your topic for Don't Get Me Started on today, the 10th of the 10th, 2015, is oak trees.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Are you ready, Zambia?
I accept your challenge.
I'm going to try to
Time.
and never make that noise again.
Johnny, please, silence. Your time starts now.
Oh my god, don't even get me started on oak trees. I mean, why? They are so freaking beautiful, and I don't even understand why. They are nature's beauties. They produce, well, no, I guess those would be maple trees. But they produce some pretty good syrup. They produce wonderful leaves. Say you're out camping and you need to go do your business. Oak leaves are the best leaves. Anyway, they are also the type of leaves that insulate your body the warmest. Say you are out camping and you forgot a sleeping bag. You can curl up underneath a blanket of leaves that just so happen to be of the oak variety and fall asleep just like you would under a comforter. Now, I realize some of you would not have realized any of these possibilities for them. Thank you.
Woo!
And now you know about the oak tree. And now you wish you didn't.
Can we get the More You Know soundtrack here?
We can get the off-brand. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Running a bit short on that one, Zambi.
I know, I apologize, but oak trees are not my strong suit.
It's okay. You could have mentioned the allergens, but
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Next
any
up.
other volunteers, or should I just grab the shotgun and wave it violently?
Violently
He's
always
not
works.
kidding. Oh, we saw a face. Hello,
Good evening.
Firefox.
Fire!
Hey, fire.
Fire!
We traded in a Rugi for a Firefox.
Don't say her name in the theater. You may get kicked out.
Oh my.
Fire! Get it?
Yeah.
Oh. Because it burns things.
Yes.
And
Yes,
just to throw her into the deepest of the deep ends, Fire, you get to go next for Don't Get Me Started.
Oh no. Okay. What are you gonna throw
Basically,
at me?
you have a minute and a half to talk about starfish.
Starfish?
Firefox. Yes, starfish.
Oh
Your
boy.
time starts now.
Okay, but in all seriousness, guys, do not get me started on starfish. I mean, there is not a creature on this planet that looks more alien than a starfish. I mean, if you look at their arms, I mean, they are freaky. They are ridged, and they got all kinds of not tentacular stuff, but they got like almost like teeth on their arms, and then they just bring in their food, and then their beaks on the underneath the stomachs, they just open up and they just wrap themselves around the thing and slowly digest it. I mean, that is disturbing. That is beyond disturbing. And then as if that's not bad enough, you cut off one of their arms and it's like, oh hey, that's not a problem. I'm better than the Black Knight because, oh hey, boom, new arm. Are you Namekian or are you a sea creature? Make up your mind. Okay, I think I'm done.
Nope. Still half a minute left.
Oh no. Although I have to admit though about the starfish is that they make for really neat decorations. I mean, if you take a dead starfish, they have to be dead. If they're alive, then they're just moving all over the place and it's freaky. But if you take a dead starfish, you can just spruce up about anything. You put it on the walls, you can put it on all kinds of arts and crafts. You can turn it into like a headpiece and stuff. Everyone's like, oh wow, that is so unique. It's like, yeah, I'm wearing a dead, possibly extraterrestrial organism. That's not weird at all.
And that has been Don't Get Me Started with Firefox on the common starfish.
Sorry, I have very loud neighbors who don't know how to be quiet. Anywho, we have Big Bad King Boom Boo, who says we should do one about clouds.
Okay.
And who better to ask about clouds than Midnight?
Ah!
So,
Alright.
Mama Midnight, your Don't Get Me Started topic on clouds starts now.
Don't get me started about clouds, specifically cumulus clouds, because I love waking up in the morning in bright, beautiful, sunny California and seeing this big, massive cumulus cloud, because I know that it's going to rain and it's going to be awesome. But cumulus clouds, like, they're layering and everything, and like, the thing about cumulus clouds is that they look like white fluffy sheep, and those are the clouds that are best for like cloud watching and everything, because you look at the sky and everything, you're like, dang, that looks like a face. Oh no, man, I see a bird. Oh crap, I see a duck. And everybody's just like, well, duck is a bird. But anyway, like clouds. Clouds are awesome, and the fact that they exist is kind of neat because they just make everything in the world that's already so beautiful even more beautiful. And I am talking really fast. Clouds, man, I just love taking pictures of them and looking up at them, and it's just awesome seeing them every day because they're just so wonderful and they all have variety and you can tell the weather from them and clouds. Yes, I'm ollieing out now.
You heard it here first, folks.
Smooth.
I've got a
Really
weird
smooth.
obsession with clouds, and Crow's fully aware of that.
I just get spammed with pictures of Californian clouds. It's great.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, and that was at 1 minute 10. Sorry very much by that.
And what
Alright.
was I going for?
1 minute 30.
Ah!
Yeah. You tried, and that's all that matters. The next victim will be skillful prey.
Dun dun dun.
You can do it.
This is a family show. How dare you?
Oh, okay. You're one to talk, Terminal.
Oh, hey. I'm always one to talk. I love
But not welcome.
Okay.
Eat. And your time starts.
Wait, what is the topic?
Now. Belly
What
button
is it?
lint.
No.
I'm not necessarily sure you have a choice.
I'm good, fam.
Sucks. You gotta
I
rant
talked
about it
for
for a
like
minute and
0.5
30
seconds
seconds.
to just be like, that's gross. That's all I had to say about it.
Well, that's the thing. Go on about how disgusting it is. Crow, start time.
God damn. Fuck.
No, this is vengeance.
Sweet vengeance.
Alright,
I don't know what
go.
avenging we doing. Sweet vengeance.
Oh, don't worry.
Don't get me started on belly button lint for some reason. Okay, first of all, how the fuck does this shit form? Like, do you go to the beach? Are you hanging out in fucking dryer compartments? Like, how does lint get in your fucking belly button? That's not a thing. Belly button lint doesn't exist. And if it does, you're a fucking disgusting human being. I mean, who doesn't clean out their belly button? Honestly, it's a part of your goddamn body. Whenever you're in the shower, you don't even bother looking down there? Bruh, you fucked, man. Belly button lint is the most disgusting shit. Like, what do people even do with it whenever they take it out? Do they just, like, pick at it and they're like, eh, gross, and they, like, throw it on the ground? No! You go to a doctor. Because that's disgusting. It's not normal. If you have belly button lint, you need to see your physician immediately. I don't understand how people think this is an actual thing. Because I've never personally had belly button lint, but I think it's because I'm really hygienic. What, fucking belly button lint? No! It's dust and particles from your body going in your belly button.
Oh my god.
Forming shit. That's not okay. No, hear me out. Belly button lint isn't a thing, okay?
And time.
To
Christ, are
your
you
point,
okay?
to your point, though, it is a thing, unfortunately, because it's excess material from clothing.
I don't want to
and
hear
such.
about it.
Anybody
Just
out there
saying.
who suffers from
Just
chronic
saying.
belly button lint, see your
Chronic.
physician immediately.
Don't listen to Trey consulting you. He doesn't mean it. I don't think he does.
Nah, I don't mean it. I'm shitting shit out of my ass.
I would see a doctor about that. 'Cause I don't think that's how that's supposed to work.
I would hope it comes out there, because, jeez.
Yeah.
I'm 100% not serious, just so you guys know.
Oh, man.
Johnny, where did you say that you come from again?
Ireland. Why?
Ooh, I just found the perfect topic for you then.
Oh,
Johnny,
not the British.
your
isn't it?
Don't Get Me Started topic will be on lack of potatoes.
Oh, you ass.
That is mean.
Yes!
And your time starts.
At least
now.
it wasn't the British.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Ireland and the fact that we have this obsession with the fact that we, for a period of history, we had not that many potatoes. Personally, I don't actually enjoy them. I mean, there was this thing about a fungal infection, which could have been a lot worse. But at the same time, you had people falling left, right, and center from eating things that essentially just looked like big globules of black filth that happened to have been potatoes at one stage of their lives. And listen, we here in Ireland, we take a potato seriously. I mean, we legalized poaching. That's Irish moonshine made with potatoes. We legalized that shit. As in, it is perfectly legal to drink what can essentially leave you blind after a single shot of the stuff. Not only that, I have to sell it.
Oh man!
I have to sell this shit to tourists. So to be brutally honest with you, I think a lack of potatoes would be a good thing. A lot less people would be flying off to like France or Germany or whatever with a bottle of lethal potato juice in their bag. And then there's the fact that literally everything is made out of potatoes. There is at least one product everywhere in Ireland that is made out of potatoes. So again, the lack of potatoes would be a good thing. We have potato gin. Okay, there's this company called St. Patrick's. I know, could we get any more Irish? It's called St. Patrick's, and it makes potato gin, whiskey, vodka, and cognac. Now, how they've made this out of potatoes, I'm not altogether sure. Part of me thinks they're bullshitting. The other part of me, again, has to sell it, so I feel really annoyed about that. It's just, I don't understand our obsession with potatoes. I don't. They're not even that nice.
Johnny, time.
Dude,
Yeah,
I don't
we
want to
shouldn't have gotten Johnny started on that.
I really don't want to knock your life choices, but I really don't think ranting about how stupid your product is and how it's literally death juice is a good marketing strategy.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not getting paid to sell that. If I was getting paid for it, I'd be talking about it, but...
So at this point, we only have 3 people left who have not had a turn. Myself, Razzle, and Wolfie. So...
Dude hasn't gone either.
Yeah, you're forgetting someone really big and important. Just kidding. I'm not.
And nothing of value was lost that day.
No. Stop caring, man. You like it being forgotten. No. Because here's the thing. Right, the right hand of doom. I want you to rant about... what's a good one from this list? I want you to rant about sausages.
I'm sorry, did you say sausages?
Yes, sausages.
Keep it PG now.
Don't get me started on sausages. First of all, they're very phallic in nature, and what is and what is with that casing that they have? Why is it they have that weird skin that whenever you bite into it, it gets stuck all over in your teeth and on your tongue? You can't get it out. I mean, the whole point is to encase delicious meats inside this thing, and it essentially acts like a food condom, if you will, and it keeps you away from the deliciousness. And then when you put it in stuff, I mean, you have to cut it up and everything to actually taste everything. I don't know. I don't know what the whole big deal is with having sausages the size of your face on dinner plates and then saying, "There's your meal." That is not enough meat, sir or madam. I want a steak compared to these, elongated things that we just use around to say, "Oh, look, there's a meal." Totally doesn't look like a penis or anything. That doesn't make it awkward at all. I swear, it is a joke food. It is a joke food that has become a legitimized food thanks to the Germans.
And we're getting political.
And see, if it hadn't been for the Germans, I don't think anyone really eats sausage, because it's just like, okay, this is kind of a silly looking food. I mean...
Time. Well, getting very racist there, dude. I'm pretty sure Maria's going to kick your ass after this.
So let's
just to put it out there, folks. These debates are not our actual beliefs or anyone's beliefs, to be honest.
Well, they don't necessarily need to be somebody's belief. However,
exactly.
Drake was pretty damn clear about his dislike of.
Very true. This is true.
So that's
it is
two
normal
races
to have
we've
belly
invented
button lint. I promise you.
Stop it.
Yeah. Doom does not actually hate my German ass.
I think her donkey is very lovely. If it is German.
I'm gonna kill you. Where'd it go?
That was actually a pretty good one.
Who doesn't like a good burrito joke? Yes.
Okay. The next speaker shall be ArcaneRazil. And I just want to run this by her, see if it's okay. If not, we can go on to a different topic for her. But honestly, I'd like to hear you rant about your baby sister, because I love hearing about her.
Oh, God.
And your time.
Now, do you want to stay with one sister or all my siblings?
Actually, let's go with all your siblings. Because I don't care if it goes positive or negative, though your family might.
I'm going to go both, positive and negative.
Okay, well,
Gotta get real.
Your time starts now.
Don't get me started on being the eldest sibling. What bullshit is this shit? Because when you're the eldest, you're basically the second, I guess you'd be third parent in the house. No matter how old the other siblings are, you're always expected to take care of everybody, drive everybody, go help everybody else do homework. And yeah, there's a sort of proudness on helping other people, but then at the same time, because you are also a child in the house, the other siblings don't quite respect you as much as your parents. So when you tell them, hey, go clean the living room, and then they're just sitting there playing games, ignoring you, and then it's like, oh, this is bullshit. Well, you pay for this when I get the pizza that I have to go pick up. And then you come back, and then you're like, oh, I get pizza? No, bullshit. You get clean the living room, and then you get pizza. There was not a lot in the living room. You know what that was in the living room? That you had to clean up a cup and a paper plate. That is literally all you had to do. You are picking that up before you get pizza. And Mom, she's sitting there like, oh, you just got told. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm the eldest. I have the power. Bullshit stuff going on here. And then, don't get me started on the middle sibling.
Oh my God.
She has more fun adventure stuff than I do and ever had in high school, and she has the friends, and she's a social person. No, I had to be a hermit. And then there's the youngest sibling. How fucking adorable can you get? I thought she was saying my name. You know what she was actually saying? She said za. In reference to pizza, she'll say za instead of my name. I will think she'll start saying my name, but she really just wants pizza. I am not loved more than pizza by this child. But, you know, she'll high-five sometimes, or a hug sometimes. Other times it's just like, run away! And then I tickle her, and then she's just like, ha 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 ha! And then I'm like, ha ha ha! And she's like, ha 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 ha! And then my brother, he'll be like, I'm the boss. I'm like, oh, you want to play this game? Then I tackle him to the ground, and proceed to tickle him until he's about to pee himself or admits that I am indeed the boss of the house. And then I'll be done, and then he'll have admitted it, and he'll be like, I'm the boss. Then it's like, you want to play this game again, boy? You want to play this game? And then, the fact is, I've got 3 younger siblings, so it's like I have to figure out who's going to be. I have so much stress. I'm the eldest. I have to be the best. I have to exceed, and then I have to also take care of the family. And then it's like,
Do you want to stop now? Because that was wonderful. I just let you keep going. that was more than 3 minutes, but that was just wonderful.
Razil, I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
Amen, Razil.
Terrifying.
Signal boost the shit out of this.
Oh my god.
It's just random bullshit. It's fun and
like. And then the parents compare you to the younger siblings, and it makes the younger siblings feel like crap. It's not cool, man.
Oh God, I hate that.
Sure, and my sister faces that. She feels she has to.
That is the same thing,
live
except
up
the
to me.
opposite way around. In my case.
I don't like my sister being compared to me. She's her own person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually very proud of my siblings, to be honest. My brother needs to actually turn in his homework so he can get a grade, because he can do the work. It's just he won't turn the stuff in.
There is no real comparison that goes on in my house. Despite
Also,
having
because
siblings.
I'm a college student and I'm not working. When they forget stuff, I have to go up there. Assuming I'm not at school, I have to go give them stuff.
All right, and Silent Wolfie.
Yes, crap.
It's your turn in the hot seat.
And your topic for this rant shall be glass doors.
Oh yes.
This will be fun.
So, Silent Wolfie, your time starts. Dropped it now.
Don't even get me fucking started on glass doors. Do you know how many times I or my animals have run into them? Like, you could just not be paying attention and you're just going full speed trying to run away from someone, and all of a sudden, BAM! You think you're gonna go outside, but no. You go face first into a glass door. It hurts. It really hurts. And then you have the imprint of your freaking face on your glass door, which is a bitch to get out of. And then, if your pets like to sit and sunbathe, they will shove their noses against the door and leave drool and snot and all this crap running down them. It's a mess. It's a pain in the complete ass to clean up. And then, if you're not paying attention again, and you're trying to shut said door and you don't pull your arm in fast enough, it's gonna break your arm almost, which has almost happened to me, and it was not fun. But I digress. Glass doors look absolutely pretty, but do you know how safe they are? Not really. In my state, the #1 way that people broke into houses was through the sliding glass doors. They just pop the lock on that shit and get inside the house. That does not make me feel safe. That is not okay. I like being able to sleep safe at night, but no. The #1 way people break in is through sliding glass doors. And they're sliding glass doors in our living room. What the hell? My dad tried to, fix it up, but I still don't feel safe, because if you forget to flip the latch down, they can just pop that door open and waltz the fuck in. It's yeah.
Hello.
Oh, wow.
Nice rant.
So how often would you run into them? I'm just kidding.
I'm running away from my sister chasing me and not paying attention.
Yeah.
Face first into the door, and I'm so glad,
Wily coyote stuff right there.
pretty much. It's the wolf, so. But my dog does like to sit at the door and look outside all the time, so there's constant nose prints and spit stains just going down the whole fucking thing. And I'm just like, really, dog, really?
I saw a bird. It looked really tasty, so I licked the window, but I couldn't taste the bird.
He doesn't see birds. He sees stray cats. He sees the opossum who lives in our backyard. He barks at plastic bags that like to blow back there.
Oh gosh.
But have you seen a fox licking your glass door?
No, and if I do, I'm gonna hug you. All right, Crow. What's your turn? What's your topic about?
Well, I'm not. Well, should I actually pick my own topic, or should I just get stuck in the deep end like you guys did?
Stuck in the deep
I would
end.
say let's leave it to the audience. Audience, let's see if you can hear us. If you're listening, if you're watching at home, tell us in the comments what you think Crow should rant on.
Yes, the Australian Scarecrow.
Yes, should he rant on something like bras, or should he rant on
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Yes. Tell us. You're the ones who will decide for us.
Yes, please give me. Make it worthwhile.
Or something
Yes.
like,
Here's
Tell
to
us.
kill time. My sister's watching the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and she's pointing at the screen, and she's like, "It's a poo! It's a boo!" And I'm like, "What?" And my mom's like, "I think she's trying to say it's blue, because there's a blue string on there." And it's just like, "Dink on it, child! You are adorable."
Razzle, by the way, I think your sister might be Californian if she's asking for Za.
It isn't that. It's just that she tries to say pizza, and she hears za. Because if you think about how kids learn how to talk, they sound out every single thing that's in a word. So za, and that's what a lot of kindergarten teachers tend to kind of do: sound out every syllable in the word, so that the kids can get the hang of it.
I can understand that. Like my first niece, the oldest niece now, when she was only small tiny niece, if she wanted to say please, we'd try to teach her to say please. She'd go. And it was so adorable because she's just like, say please. She'd take it and she'd run off. The tiny little legs. I'm just like, a tiny little snake with legs. Run,
Okay.
small leg snake.
I would thought it would be a spider hissing, but like, okay.
I just got
Don't hiss, Razzle.
Hold on.
I just got a message with a suggestion. If you guys want to hear it.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Miss Shed, has suggested that you rant about kangaroo fights.
I'm okay with this.
You know what? I'm okay with this too because you never really specified what the kangaroo was fighting. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go for a twofer because Big Bad King Boom Boo has come back with a second one, the Dark Lord Satan. And seeing as I've got about 10. Seeing as I've got about 10 minutes before I actually have to leave the chat, I'm sorry guys, I have to leave the live stream and go see my family. I'm going to go for a twofer.
Alright. You want me to time it?
Started. Time it if you want. I don't know how long I'm going to be going for.
Okay.
But let me know when I'm about at the 1:30 mark so I can switch to the next one.
Okay. Ready? Begin.
Do not even get me started on kangaroo fights. Kangaroo fights are the absolute bullshit thing in Australia. Everyone thinks, boxing kangaroos. They come over, every American comes over and just like, gee, crikey, mate, want to show us some boxing kangaroos, yay. And it's bullcrap. Kangaroos don't box, okay? I'm going to set the record straight. They grab you and they kick, and it hurts. I've had to fight 3 in the past 24 hours, and they fight dirty. When they're starting to lose, they reach into their goddamn pouches and pull out stones and knives and a bat and a small child. Oh my god! It is not fun. it's hilarious when you hit the small child and they go flying.
Oh God!
I have small child bruises all over my body and kangaroo for dinner, but that's beside the point. Kangaroo fights. Back in the early 1800s, when Australia was just getting founded, they used to put a kangaroo in a boxing ring with a man and let them fight. And I wish they'd do that these days, because it'd be so much more funny than seeing Anthony Mundine completely wallop the shit out of some other guy. Chuck Anthony Mundine in there with a kangaroo and see how he fares. You want to be world heavyweight champion of Australia? Fight a kangaroo. Fight a big red one. I've had to drive past these things. They are scary, especially in the middle of the night. But you know what? Do not even get me started on the Dark Lord Satan. All I hear is, oh, how's your day, dear? How's things going? Check out this new video. And of course, it sucks so much because I'm stuck here in Australia, which is literally hell. And she's stuck there in America, literally going through hell. I can't afford to get over there. And all I want to do is just spend a little time. But no, I have to work and sleep and eat and sleep some more because I'm really tired. For the very small amount of time I get to spend with the Dark Lord Satan, also known as Carney.
Oh my God!
The best possible time I have in this world. No offense to the Laughably Dapper Entertainment crew, because it is fun spending time with them as well. But I do like just having the time to myself, spending it in, honestly, silence. Just knowing that she's there for me and I'm there for her. Because if we have problems, we try to talk it out. Yes, we hide some things. That's how relationships go. No one is perfect. And I'm saying that right now for Doom and Razzle. No relationship is perfect. But we try. Everyone tries their hardest with this sort of thing. And that's why I'm always going to try my hardest to put up with the fact that she's running hell. And don't even get me started on the Dark Lord Satan.
That was
God.
3 minutes and 5 seconds. Well
That was amazing.
done.
That was
Very well
fucking
done,
amazing.
Sam.
Good
Very
job.
well done indeed.
I hope Carney doesn't smack you in the face for calling her the Dark Lord.
Dude, all you see is all you hear is Carney, because you know that somewhere she's going to watch this, whether during the stream or afterwards. She's going to watch this, and all of a sudden you just hear from halfway across the world, "God damn it, Crow! That was a secret."
No. What you'll hear from across the globe is, "God damn it, Crow! That is so adorable."
Well
She
done,
loves
Crow.
pet names.
So the Dark Lord Satan is something you call
Yeah,
it?
you know, it's a pet name, you know, kind of like Beelzebub for a dog, or
God.
Lucifer for a cat.
Oh my God!
Wait a minute. Maria?
Oh god.
Jesus Christ. Wait, Silent, you're Beelzebub. Maria.
I take full compliments to this. I'm okay.
Oh god.
Oh my goodness.
What about me?
You're Lucifer Carney.
You're
You
Lucifer.
can almost smell the brimstone here.
Again.
You can call me Lucy if you want to.
Oh God!
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
It is.
But with that, guys, I am actually going to be dropping out of the live stream. I wish you all a good night and hopefully see you guys next week.
And we
Bye,
hope you
Crow.
stay. Goodbye, Crow.
Good night, Crow.
Have a good night.
Good times. Good times were spent with Crow. He is off to go fight a bazillion kangaroos.
Thank you very much, Miss Shed, for suggesting kangaroo fights. That was amazing.
That was great. So, you guys, do you want to go with another round, or should we go into the creepypasta?
Well, personally, I would feel just wrong doing Don't Get Me Started without Crow. So I vote pastas.
I
Is-
really don't mind.
Okay. So, we're going to go ahead and go to creepypasta time. Set your radio dials to spooky kids. That is from Thrilling Adventure. I should not say that.
That's copyrighted material, Doom.
Yes,
was
I
it?
know.
He quoted it. It's cited material. He's fine.
Now we're going to the APA thing.
I have to know the
American-
thing by heart. Kill me.
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you, College Life. You've taught us something valuable, what we can say and not say on YouTube. With that being said, who would like to go first? And ladies and gentlemen, turn up the volume and turn out the lights. It's gonna get spoopy in this room.
Spoopy.
Who goes
I think
first?
I actually have something.
Oh, excellent. Exquisite.
Okay, this is actually an introduction for everybody else. Let's see if I can find it.
And feel free, if you want, we can also turn this into a discussion of scary stories or stuff like that. If you've got scary stories of your own, we can make it almost like a campfire thing.
Ooh, sweet. Yeah, I like that idea. Like, after the stories are read, we discuss them or something.
Oh, we could do something like that, yeah. We don't want to go too long, but...
Well,
And
yeah.
if the viewers want to suggest something for us to read, if it's not insanely long.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great, too. I mean, you, the audience, can be involved.
Definitely no psychosis.
Yeah, let's stay away from that and any copyrighted material. We won't be able to read Stephen King, guys. Come on. Come on now, here.
I think Zimbia was referring to Psychosis the Pasta.
I was.
Oh.
Just because of how long it is.
Oh,
Maybe not.
yeah.
And CP had to narrate it in 6 parts.
Oh, goodness.
I found it. Alright.
What have we got?
This is part of a very, very old book I have. But it's a good introduction for the telling of scary stories, so I figured why not tell it.
Okay.
But yeah. This is just going to be a nice introduction. Haven't done this in a very long time.
You can ask my viewers, neither have I.
Yeah. I don't remember how to do this anymore. But, alright.
It's because we're too busy being funny.
Oh, shut up. Yeah. Sarcastic. So turn down all the lights except the one you need to illuminate these pages. Windows to make certain that they're securely barred against things you would rather not see or hear. Then settle down in your comfortable chair and let your mind drift back to other lands, other times, when terrors rose with the moon and unspeakable monsters stalked the land. Bernhard J. Herwood. Here goes. Take it away, folks!
Absolutely beautiful. And tonight we will begin. Does anyone have a story ready?
I do, actually.
All right. Be sure to credit the author.
Okay, it is on creepypasta.net, and I do not see a... or creepypasta.com, and I do not see a screen name author, so...
The author should be near the bottom of the story on creepypasta.com.
Yes.
At the bottom of the story, all I have is Rate This Pasta rating 7 of 10. So, I will, however, give the name of the pasta and say, I am giving credit to the author of this. I do not own this story. So, this is called Human Echolocation. It is a micropasta. I've been blind since birth. This in and of itself is not what this story is about, but it's a crucial part. Throughout my life, I've used lots of different kinds of assistive technology, braille keyboards, voice command apps, adapted smartphones, etc. Recently, I tried human echolocation for the first time in my life. For those of you who don't know what this is, it's a technique emulating that of how bats and dolphins find their prey in the dark. By making clicking noises with your mouth, you are able to hear the sound bounce off the objects it hits. And in that way you, quote-unquote, see where the objects are. A friend of mine, let's call her Jane, had seen a couple of videos about it on YouTube and asked me if I had ever tried it. I told her I hadn't, though I had heard of it. Long story short, I decided to test it out. It took a lot of concentration at first, but after a few days, I felt like I was starting to get the hang of it. Next time I met Jane, she sounded excited and congratulated me when I told her that I was doing very well. Practice makes perfect, as so the old adage goes. And I was able to avoid any major obstacles without much trouble. We went to the park, and Jane asked me to demonstrate what I could see around us with my current abilities. I laughed and told her that I'm not exactly Daredevil, but that I'd give it a go. After a few clicks, I told her there was a small wall or building to our left, and a tall thing in front of us. It was harder for me to make out, so I guessed it was some kind of bush. Jane got quiet then, and had a hint of worry in her voice when she spoke again. Well, you're right about the wall, but there's nothing in front of us. Like, at all. Just grass for about a mile. I froze. I knew that I was a beginner at this, but the sound had clearly bounced off something. It was much taller than a person and only a few steps in front of us. Could I have messed up what I had heard that badly? I decided to laugh it off with Jane and said that I apparently wasn't ready to go out and fight crime just yet. Feeling very uneasy, I hurried us home from there, and we continued our walk. By the time she dropped me off at home, she seemed to have forgotten about it. However, I doubt that I ever will. And that was human echolocation.
Done.
Good job. Good job. Is there anyone else who would like to go next, or
Me.
who is me?
It is Razil.
Ooh. Everyone shut your pie holes. I want to hear Razzle. I haven't heard Razzle narrate forever.
Okay. This is The Other Side, written by Bees Huts.
That name, though.
Oh god.
I didn't even see the name until like now, and I almost mentally misread it. So I was like, "Oh shit!"
Did the author? Did you not notice? Did the author by any chance get you?
Oh my god.
Oh gosh. Okay. The Other Side by Bees Huts. I can't even say the names. I'm sorry, Bees Huts. Okay. Fuck that, man, Sam said, pushing the board away and standing from his seat. Nah, dude, you're not pussying out now. That thing cost me last week's paycheck. Sam looked at the board for a couple seconds. If I get possessed or some shit, that's on you, he finally said, returning to his seat at the table. So, what do we do? Alex replied, we just put a hand on the pointer eye thing and ask it questions. Then sometimes it answers, I guess. That's bullshit, Sam scoffed. One of us just moves it to freak the other one out. Hey, man, I promise not to move it if you do. All right, I guess, Sam resigned. Both stared at the eye, neither moving. "All right," Alex finally said. "I'll go first." He placed his fingers lightly on the eye and looked at Sam. Sam took out a blunt and lighter from his pocket and lit it, placing it in his mouth and puffing. He said, "Fine, let's do it." Sam placed his fingers on the eye next to Alex's. "So, what do we ask?" The movement of the eye cut Sam's question short. "I-S-A-N-Y-O-N," Alex whispered under his breath. "Fucking hell!" Sam screamed, jumping in his seat. "E-T-H-E-R-E," Alex continued, whispering. "Is anyone there?" "I thought we asked the questions," Sam said, staring at Alex. "Me too," Alex said, his eyes not moving from the board. "Well," Sam said. "Well, I mean, we are." Alex shrugged at Sam. Looking back at the board, he slid the eye over to the red "Yes" in the corner. "Holy shit," Sam said as the eye moved over the letters. W-H-A-T-I-S Y-O-U-R-N-A-M-E. Alex said, his voice shaking. "A-L-E-X, he began, moving the eye over each letter as he said them. He slid over to the end symbol before starting again. S-A-M. The board stood totally still. Sam put out his blunt, and Alex gripped the table, neither one taking an eye off the Ouija board. Finally, the eye began to move again. No, that isn't. What the fuck, Alex? Sam said, looking at Alex. What does that even mean? Alex said, his voice cracking and shaking. Finally, the eye stopped moving after running over the letters. H-O-W-D-I-D-Y-O-U-D-I-E. That's the end.
I hate stories like that. Oh my god. No,
Hey guys, I'm gonna dip out if that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem, Prey.
Bye, Drake.
Alright. Night, Drake.
guys.
Night, Drake.
No,
Good night.
See ya.
But I seriously hate stories like that. I mean, they make me doubt our reality. Like, what if stuff like that is happening? Like, what if we're on the other side of the veil?
We'll never know.
Exactly.
My haircut's accurate.
Well, if this has happened...
Oh my god.
Oh god.
It just freaks me the fuck out. I'm
I
sorry.
knew I was going to pay for my life, but like, this?
Yeah.
At least you met us.
Well, that means I took you all with me.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
Who's
how do you
better
know
with me?
I didn't take you with me?
Well,
You did kind of pick us up on
Because we're all kind of heavy, man.
I mean, you could find out by by playing with the Ouija board and seeing if the ghosts ask you a question.
Oh my
What
god,
time
no.
is Friday? Yeah, no, hon, don't.
Let's not do that, please.
Yeah, let's
That
not.
is the worst.
I don't.
No.
I love you too, Razzle, but I don't want to touch that, man.
Next story,
I have
next
heard
story,
horror
next
stories
story.
of Ouija boards. Let's
I
not.
love how everyone's automatic reaction is, no, bad Razzle, bad suggesting that, don't ever do it again.
I
It's
mean,
just
I can
kind of a general rule because we all kind of know.
Yeah, I know, that's why I poke fun at it, but then
We do
everyone's
this
reaction
for a
is like,
living.
No.
everyone's reaction is like, no.
Finally, I'm not the first one to say something terrible in the live stream. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Doom,
Look,
no.
You're
We still
welcome,
count the
hon.
dying children.
How's
living.
killing poor child Timmy?
he is
And
still
talking
very much
about
dead.
cancer.
Leukemia, madam. Very different.
No,
I think.
it's not. Leukemia is a form of cancer.
No, it's really not. Yeah, that's true. So the next up will be Silent Wolf. Not to be confused with Silent Night. That is in fact a song for Christmas. This is Halloween.
I'm going to take this chance to go grab a drink, so I will be back.
Okay. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I will be narrating Ice, a story of my own creation. I hope you all enjoy it. If given a choice to be taken from this world, between burning or freezing to death, most would choose to freeze. They say it's numbing, that you don't feel anything as you die. Accounts of those who have managed to have been saved say it's almost like going to sleep. At least, in some cases. Those were the lucky ones, I suppose. I guess it all happened too quickly for the real pain to set in. It's not gentle, by any means. Have you ever held a piece of fresh ice and it sticks to your fingertips? Or touched something so cold it felt like it was burning you? Do you think that's a coincidence? Personally, I'd choose death by fire. It'd be quicker if I'm lucky, and certainly a hell of a lot better than freezing. Now, before you try to psychoanalyze it, let me tell you about what happens when you freeze. The cold will seep into the room, and your body will shake and shudder in an attempt to warm you up. As the temperature drops, the warmth will leave your extremities, trying to keep your vital organs warm. Your fingers and your toes will get sharp, stinging sensations before, yes, going numb. Be thankful the pain is gone from one area. Now, do you know why you get the pain there? Well, the human body is at least 70% water, and it's all the way down to the cellular level. And what happens when water freezes? It expands. That pain you feel? It's the water in your cells expanding to the point that the cells explode. It goes numb and black for the simple reason that there is nothing left to feel the pain. And this will continue at an agonizingly slow pace. You'll shiver harder and harder, your teeth almost breaking their chattering so hard, as the pain creeps up your arms and legs, getting worse and worse as it reaches the bigger, more sensitive nerve endings, before the black tinge of frostbite follows. You'll try to move, in a vain attempt to keep warm. Maybe, impossibly, try to outrun the ice. But your blackened limbs will not aid you here. Do you see now why they call it frostbite? As the pain reaches your torso, it will only get worse. And at that point, you won't even have the energy to scream. If you pass out, you're lucky. It's maddening, feeling your organs go one by one. By all accounts, you should be dead at this point. But some aren't so lucky. Curse whatever deity you believe in if you've managed to stay conscious and coherent this long. Because if you're still alive, you'll have the privilege of feeling the ice creep into your heart. You'll get to hear it slow down as it struggles to pump blood to your screaming brain, fighting against the ice. And as it freezes over completely, ice swirls in your vision, your breath. Whatever's left of it that hasn't frozen in your frigid lungs will wheeze out, as your world goes white, forever claimed by the icy blackness. And that was ice.
Wonderful.
Very good.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Do you see why it's my favorite element now?
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. Yeah.
Maybe a little, yeah.
So
Fire all the way.
Amazing how Fire and I get along so well. Huh, Fire?
I'm sorry?
Speaking of fire.
Amazing how you and I get along so well, huh, Fire?
Oh.
Womp womp.
Oh, bleh.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, who would like to go next?
Well, I do believe there are only 3 more people.
Including myself, yes. Jonathan, did you have anything prepared?
I don't have anything prepared, no.
Do you want to share with the
You need one of
class?
your own stories.
No, that would take forever.
How about this? It's one of mine. If you want to read it, I'll link it to you.
Sure.
It's not too terribly long, which is a surprise because I'm fairly long-winded.
He admits it.
Yeah, I can do this.
Please, reading over it. Fire, did you have one prepared?
I'm looking through a few of them just to see.
You did link me one, and that would have been fine.
So, okay. I mean, well then, there is a creepypasta that I found on creepypasta.org called Blurry, and I wouldn't mind reading it. It seems pretty good.
Do you know who the author is?
Yes, I believe the author is It's Just Me, Anna.
Okay.
That's the name that was linked with that was associated with the story.
I got that. I was just saying, okay, whenever you're ready.
All right. Blurry. When we were kids, we'd always spin in circles. The more we spun around, the more dizzy we get. Sometimes it was a challenge to see who would fall over or who could stay upright. When I was young, 7 or 8, I remember this would be all I'd do with my time. Spinning, spinning, spinning. One particular day, me and my mom were home. She was cooking and told me to go off and play, and I obeyed. I walked into the living room and began spinning around. I was trying to focus my eyes on my surroundings, which of course was hard. I could make out certain things like the shape of the couch or the television, but as I kept spinning, I noticed something out of place. I tried to focus my eyes as I spun, but all I could make out was a tall, dark figure. I kept spinning, and each time it got closer. It had started out at the far end of the room, but now it was only a few feet away. I stopped spinning and looked into its direction. The world was still spinning, but I was sitting still. The creature was moving back and forth in my vision. I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, it was gone. Mommy! Mommy, someone's in the living room. Oh, honey, don't be silly. No one's here but you and I. But, Mom, I saw it. It was tall and dark. Sweetie, go play. I'm busy. I walked away, upset my mother wouldn't listen to me. I steered away from the living room and went to my bedroom instead. I turned on the light and closed the door behind me. Tossing all my toys into my closet, I made room for me to spin around. I began spinning, and after a few rounds, I saw it again. I tried to push it from my mind. Of course nothing's there. I closed my eyes and kept spinning, spinning until I felt breath on my face. My eyes opened, and right in front of me was this creature. My eyes were still trying to reset, but caught a few details. A thin gray face, sunken in eyes that looked like black holes, and a wide grin containing razor-sharp teeth. I looked closer before screaming, for I saw blood on its teeth, I swear. Mom! Mom! I called out, and within a blink of an eye, it was gone. My mother came rushing in. What? What is it? I was so angry and scared that it was gone that I couldn't find the words to say. Now that's enough out of you. I'm not coming up here again. She walked out, and I tried calling to her. My arms were outstretched, but the words caught my throat. She left. My only safety. At this point, I was so scared I was frozen in place. I was scared to blink, scared to move, scared to speak. Eventually, I had the courage to run out of my room and into the kitchen. I decided to sit in the corner and watch my mom. I was too scared to do anything, so I waited until bedtime. Mom brought me back to my room and tucked me in. "I'll get you a glass of water." She exited the room, and I got settled into my bed. When she came back, telling me, "Here you go, cupcake." And she had her arm out, trying to give me the water, but I still didn't move. "Baby?" I still didn't respond. I heard her set it on the table beside me. "Good night, honey. Sweet dreams." The door closed, and my only salvation was gone. I hadn't said a word, because when she left, it had appeared in the corner of my room. When she came back, it had followed her over to my bed. And when she left again, it closed the door behind her. I remember the look it gave me when it turned around. It walked over to the end of my bed and watched me. All night. I was scared to fall asleep. "Spin," it said. Its voice was so foreign, but I had understood it, and I didn't want to disobey. I slowly crawled out of bed. I began spinning around. It came closer and closer. The next thing I remember, I awoke. I was lying on the floor, and sunlight was coming through the windows. I sat up and looked around, but the creature wasn't here. I felt a horrible pain on my head. I touched the spot where it hurt, and dried blood fell into my hand. I must have hit my head on the table next to my bed. I stood, but fell down again. I looked on the floor and saw a large puddle of blood where I was lying. I was so lightheaded and dizzy. I crawled out of my room and searched for my mother. I looked in her bedroom, but she was gone. I slid down the stairs. I searched around, but I couldn't find her. Everything got blurry, and there it was again. "It's okay," it whispered. I fell onto my face, and the last thing I felt was a heavy weight on my back and breath on my neck. My world went blurry and faded to blackness. Who knows how long I was out? I lost a lot of blood when my mom came out of the bathroom and found me on the floor. I heard a scream and felt my body move. She must have been shaking me, but I couldn't see. My face hurt. It felt like tears were going down my face. So I reached up to feel, but instead I felt empty holes where my eyes should be. And that's it.
Woohoo!
Very good, very good. Very creepy.
That is absolutely terrifying.
I don't know. I read an interesting one that was a little too long to read in here, but I like the concept of it.
There's one that I'm looking at that I would really like to read, at least on one of these streams, but it is pretty long.
Then we will see about that. Johnny, I don't know if you want to read the one I linked, or if there was another one that you found that might be better. Or if you walked away to use the toilet, for all I know. Uh,
Oh, sorry, I have myself on mute. No, this is perfect.
you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do this.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
The Beatles in Bailey. He awoke with a large, angry welt in his hand. George Bailey did not think much of it at first. It was the third such welt to appear in his many nights. However, now it was beginning to become a bit of an issue. There was no way to tell if it was a spider bite or ringworm or what have you. It was early in the morning, and the sun hadn't even hinted at showing its face to the world when he had felt as if something was tugging at him. At first he thought it was his dog, but remembered that Sergeant Bark had passed away quietly some nights ago. Mr. Bailey did not often clean his sheets, as he had no one to wash them for him, and after all, it was woman's work. He was too busy and too important for such trivial pursuits. Indeed, it could be said that despite being well off, he was absent-minded to the concerns of hygiene. He checked his sheets and checked the bed. Nothing could be found. He left the sheets as they were, and quickly left to get dressed for the day. His normal business attire sat waiting for him in a neatly folded pile in a nearby chair, where he left his other effects. He needed to be at the office at once to start filing the paperwork for the Furrow and Sons buyout. Mr. Bailey was about to retrieve his trousers when a sudden tingling came upon his right arm, where the welt had been. Looking down at it, he felt as though it had moved somehow, which was preposterous, of course, he told himself, and continued to reach for his clothes. He felt it again, movement this time from a bump near his waist. The pain was blinding, as if something were writhing inside of him, twisting his sinew and skin. He moved away from the clothes and moved to the mirror in his bathroom just opposite his bed, hissing at the abrupt pain that shot up his arm and waist. As he lived alone, there were no shower curtains and no womanly touches. The bathroom was always in a state of disarray, with various bottles of cologne and aftershave littered the medicine cabinet. George quickly closed the door to see himself in the mirror. He noticed he now had several bumps on his face. One was rather large and close to his left eye, the other spaced around his cheek. He looked in terror as the welt swelled further and seemed to shake about. His stomach churned as he beheld this horrific visage in the dirty mirror. This has got to be my imagination. I shall wash my face and surely wake up, he told himself, not quite able to convince himself of this. He opened the faucet gingerly, not wanting to look at his hand as he did so for fear of finding the welt gone, and slowly washed his face. The pain was almost unbearable, but he forced himself to continue, to clean and rub his eyes. As he looked again in the mirror in front of him, he noticed that, at once, he was not dreaming. The welts on his body had begun to move. They stirred wildly, and he noticed 2 more lumps on either ear. He finally decided to take out his razor blade and try to cut the pustules on his hand open. No time for doctors, no. I must make quick work of this investigation and then be off. There's no point in getting overcharged for an ingrown hair or ringworm, after all, thought Bailey, frightfully. Trying to keep his calm and ensure himself that he didn't severely wound his whole hand, he began to cut at the welt on his right hand shallowly at first. As George Bailey began to cut into his hand, the blinding pain once again reverberated through his entire body. He wrenched into the sink and saw spurts of blood come from his mouth, and looked to see squirming near his eye. He watched as a beetle sprung forth from his socket and left his eye a gaping wound on his face. He screamed as more burst forth from the pustules, the one from his hand travelling up his arm and coming out his nose. The bleeding became profuse, and he could no longer stand without immense effort, and began to fall over. His last sight was of a wave of beetles coming from his mouth. He fell to the floor with a large, loud thud, unable to keep consciousness any longer. The last of his will was expended on trying to arise from where he fell. He could no longer see nor feel the hundreds of beetles crawling about him. Soon even the last spark of life faded, and the beetles were left to their feast.
Good job, sir. Good job.
Oof. Talk about creepy.
You did such a. I mean, your voice goes so well with that story too.
I have to make two compliments here. I have to make two compliments here. First goes to the narrator, Jonathan. You did wonderfully.
No,
The second goes to the author, Doom. That was an amazing story.
It was an okay story, actually. I actually really like it. I like it because there's a bit of comedy in it, which is nice. The fact that he named his dog Sergeant Bark, you know, the blatant sexism of the character. It was fun to write that one.
Very sort of proper English gentleman.
Yes, it was supposed to be very much like an old-timey, almost Victorian age kind of guy that I was writing. But I think that kind of bled through very well.
I like that the story is very reminiscent of the old tale of, you know, spiders laying eggs in you and them hatching kind of deal.
Exactly. And that's kind of where we came from on that one. And of course, thank you to Dimension Bucket for helping me actually edit that one. So, I have not yet gone. This is another story that I wrote a while back. I could do some holders. I could have done some holders, but I haven't really done this one on my channel. This one was uploaded to Awkward Thursday's channel, and I think everyone's going to get a kick out of seeing it or hearing it. It's not necessarily a scary pasta. It is meant to be more of a feels pasta, but it's got some pretty creepy elements to it. The name of the story is A Borrowed Heart. I wrote this in like 15 minutes, like two years ago, I think, when I first got into pasta with the guys. So, needless to say, let me get started. My boy, my special boy, my one and only son. You made it. I could hear my father's voice at the edge of tears as he sat next to my bed as I lay recuperating. I was in some pain from my surgery, and he had hardly moved from my bedside since it was completed. He had been worried about me since day one. I don't mean as in the first day I was told I was to have surgery, mind you, but since the day I was born. See, on the day that I was born, my mother had died giving birth to me, leaving my father alone to raise me. And he did. He was a bit overprotective, but that's only because I had been born with a severe heart condition. In fact, my father had been told by the doctors that I wouldn't make it through my first night. But by some miracle, according to my father, I had pulled through. I was never expected to last very long, though, and it was a surprise that I had even made it to my 13th birthday this year. All the while, my father had been there helping me through my condition, watching me, providing for me, protecting me. He had done more for me than I could ever ask for, and he always told me stories about my mother. It's been long and difficult, hasn't it, son? My father asked, not really expecting a response. You've come a long way since you were born. You were always a fighter, you know. My father laughed slightly through his sobbing. I wish your mother were here now, to see just how far you've come, we've come. You and I. Naturally, when my father discovered my 1 month count. See, this is why we edit. Naturally, when my father discovered my 1 month countdown, he defied the doctors and had me go through more testing. He wanted a second, a third, and a fourth, and even a fifth opinion to try and find proof that I wasn't dying. Unfortunately for my dad, they'd all agreed that I was on my last leg, and the only option would be a heart transplant. This is a very difficult surgery to perform, one doctor told him in a very thick accent. For you see, it's hard enough to find a heart for a healthy man or woman about your age, senor. But to find a child's heart about your son's is imposible. Pero I can still recommend for him to be on a waiting list. However, the odds truly are not in his favor. This was devastating to my father. He had cried so many nights worried about me that month. He would take to dropping me off at my grandparents' and coming back hours later, having come from the bar as he smelled of booze and depression. I didn't blame him for it. In fact, it was kind of comforting to see him worry so much, but I began to worry for him too. One night he didn't come back until the next day, and he had looked like he hadn't stopped crying at all. I asked him what had happened, and he just told me that he was visiting Mom's grave to ask her for advice. He did that too from time to time, and he said that he could almost hear her whisper to him there sometimes, and it comforted him. I didn't put much stock into it, but if it made him feel better, I wasn't going to throw it in his face. The same week, though, he had picked me up from school with an excited look on his face. I'd been having an okay day. Most of the kids had left me alone and didn't want to talk to me most of the time while I was there. It was almost as if they felt like that. It's almost like they thought I'd spread some kind of disease to them. Needless to say, I wasn't sure why he was so darn happy, and it was a bit off-putting. "I've got great news, son," he roared triumphantly as I walked slowly to the car. "Oh yeah? What's that?" I asked, not too interested in what my father had to say. "The doctor found one." He beamed at me widely. The way my father had stated this took some time for me to fully process what he meant by saying this, until it finally clicked. "You mean?" I asked nervously. "That's right, son. He found you a ticket to replace that. You're free and clear. Everything matches, and he said he can get you in by the end of the week at the very latest," my father explained cheerily. "But how are we going to pay for it, Dad?" I asked him worriedly. I had known the bills and visits had been expensive, and on my father's meager salary as a salesman at a local furniture store, and the days he had taken off to take me to my various appointments, I had been concerned that there would be no way for us to pay for such a major surgery. I was surprised to see him smiling even wider. "I've got that covered too, son, so no worries. You just hop in this truck and let your old man take care of the rest. You've got enough to think about with that new ticker of yours coming in." He ruffled my hair as I climbed into the truck. The next few days flew past in a whirlwind of preparations and missed classes. My dad had taken the rest of the week off just to be with me, and my grandparents had been there to give moral support to both of us as well. Now remember, my grandfather said jokingly, if you see a big, hairy creature while you're under, that's just your great-grandmother stopping by to say hello, but don't go following her. This had made me laugh a great deal. However, it earned him an elbow to the rib from my less than pleased grandmother, who gave him the stink eye for the comment. The day my surgery was going to occur, I felt more nervous than I can remember ever being. I was worried that I was going to see tunnels and great Granny Hilda coming for me, but the doctors assured me that such worries were needless. By the time they administered the anesthesia, I was out like a light. The last words I heard were from my father, who had kissed my forehead before they wheeled me out to the operation room. I love you, son. I'll see you in a bit. This was the most comforting thing I could hold on to as I was wheeled into the sanitized room. I awoke hours later after what had only seemed like minutes. It was like that scene in Halo when Master Chief had woken up from the cryosleep because everything was just fuzzy and slow. When I could crack my eyes, I spotted my father at my bedside, praying the rosary fervently while holding my hand. He caught me looking after a few minutes and then hugged me gingerly and told me to rest up and that he'd have the doctors check up on me. It had been 4 hours since I had awoken, and my father never even got up to use the restroom for fear of me slipping out of his sight. When he thought I was good and asleep, which I had been, I heard him talking to me. He told me about that night he had gone to Mom's grave, and how he'd spent hours there waiting for an answer, praying to her and praying to God for a miracle. I was there all night, son. I waited and waited and I waited. But I didn't hear anything back. I was getting so worried I cried all night. Finally, when I was falling asleep, I heard your mother's voice whispering to me. You need to help your son, she seemed to say. He said this with a far-off voice. How, though? How can I help my son? I'd give him my heart if I could, but I was afraid that I would give out on you two. That my heart would be too weak. And you know what your mother whispered to me in the dark? My father, again, didn't seem to be waiting for a reply, but seemed to have something on his mind. There are people, she said, that would do anything for their sons and daughters, things most people wouldn't dream of doing. But he's your only son. Don't you want to see him grow up? Don't you want to give him a family? She seemed to say to me, don't you think it's fair that your son, the son I died to give life to, gets the opportunity to live his life out? My dad seemed to choke a bit, as if holding back immense tears. You know what I said then, son? I said, of course I do, but I don't know how. And as I lay rocking back and forth in that cold, I could see a shadow. The shadow was moving out there in the graveyard. I had cracked my eyes just barely enough to see him, tears streaming down his face as he continued without noticing me. As I saw it move around, he continued, I noticed that it was a small boy, roughly your age and your height. Now, your daddy never told you this, son. But sometimes when he goes to visit Mommy, he takes a cooler of beer with him so that he can relax with her and not get so scared out there. And that's when it hit me. I know you'd be waiting for a heart to come in for a good long while, but if we didn't find a heart soon, it'd be a lost cause. So I started to form a plan. You see, if I could just get a hold of a heart for you, all would be well. You'd be patched up and you'd be okay. And I would have my son back. I was starting to get scared now. I didn't open my eyes, and I tried to keep my face calm as my father continued on. A sense of dread sat in my stomach like a giant rock as I listened more intently. So I took out the beers, and sure enough, there was just enough ice to make it to the hospital. Meanwhile, I saw the shadow of that boy running towards me from behind the graves. Now, your old man always carries a knife with him all the time. They're damn handy, and you never know when you'll need one, son. Remember that, okay? Anyway, I followed the shadow boy to a nearby tomb and caught him unawares. I lay in bed, forcing my eyes not to squeeze or fly open, trying my best not to let out a yell as my father continued to tell me the gruesome detail of how he'd bashed in the boy's head with a nearby rock and slowly and carefully removed his heart and various other organs. The others he would put in the cooler as more donations to other children needing them. That's how my dad explained he was able to afford my surgery, and so quickly. I did it all for you, son. My father whispered. Now you can live your life without borrowed time. You can grow up and have a family. You can do whatever you want now. My father was rocking faster back and forth in his chair, but he spoke steadily as if somehow his actions seemed same in his own mind. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for my son, my father finally said more calmly. There isn't a damn thing that I wouldn't do for you. And my father meant it. For the next morning on the news, a special report had been made. A young 13-year-old boy had been dragged to a local graveyard where he had been found beaten to death with a rock, only to have his organs harvested. The strangest thing was that there was no clue to be found and no suspects. At least, none that the police would know of.
Why you gotta hurt me
Damn
like
it,
that?
I really wish I wasn't right.
The first time I heard that story, it shook me to the core. It's just,
Dude, I hate being right about stories like that. Like, I really hate it. In my mind, it was either he sacrificed his own heart and somehow through black magic is staying alive to see his son, or...
Like, you could see it coming, though. You're just sitting here like, it's gonna come, and whenever it does come, I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah. Like,
I can't imagine. I mean, I know people love their kids to death and would do anything for them, but that's going a little too far.
Just a little.
I need a minute.
Are you okay?
Oh no, I'm fine. Okay. Really, really cool though.
Well, I was having quarrels about my story, but after hearing how long that one was, I feel fine now.
Well, I'm actually really glad you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I wrote that in 15 minutes, and then we took forever. Actually, and I noticed actually at one point that the word color is not the word cooler. I think I still need to edit that a little bit. But yes. Now, the stream's gone on for almost 2 hours now. So I don't know. do you guys feel like continuing and having Zambi read his story?
I mean,
yeah,
you're
let's let
dead.
Sam read her story. But I was wondering, do you mind if I stick a really, really short one in between for kind of variety?
Absolutely,
don't
go
mind.
for it.
Yeah, I kind of have to go, folks, because it's like nearly 4 in the morning here. So
Yeah, you need to go to
Alright.
bed.
Well,
To bed,
I'm
Johnny.
going to read my tale real quick while he's poofing, and then Zam can read hers.
okay, well, cool.
Alright. Good night,
Thank you all
Johnny.
for listening, and thank you all for inviting me here. I'll talk to you
Thank you
later.
for joining us.
Talk to you later,
Thank you very
Mr.
much for
Davis.
coming.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Alright, so this is a real short one for me, and it's the first one I ever wrote. Oh, goody. But, then it's
Flashback.
one for you, Sam. Yeah? Yes?
No one said nothing.
Oh, for a second I thought Wolfie said question and then didn't ask anything.
No.
Okay, mine's just messed up from the last story.
No,
Got
I said something. I just can't remember for the life of me what I said.
Ah!
So
Well.
it ain't you. I think I'm losing my mind too.
Okay.
Do it, Doom!
But no, this is my first pasta I ever wrote. This was from September of last year. Talked with her hands, which is actually inspired by another person in Dapper, Alice, because she's Italian American and she does the talking with her hands thing, and I was just like, oh, that would be funny for a story, so yeah.
Ah, yes, I can relate.
Talked with her hands. I had a friend from my childhood whose family was Italian American. Her looks, well, being pretty, with long brunette hair, rosy lips, and gray blue eyes, I was never attracted to. No, you see, I always loved how she was so passionate, so full of life and gusto, and how she talked with her hands. She'd go on for hours about how much she loved some and despised others, hands moving all the while. Her hands helped illustrate the tales her words had crafted, moving with the speed and emphasis of a conductor. Her hands slammed downward when furious, graceful when pleased. And when sad, they hung limp from her wrists, every word a downward motion. When she grew older, so did I, and I slowly became obsessed with watching her hands move when she talked. It was just so hypnotic. I decided I wanted to listen to the words her hands spoke for her forever. So, I stole her. I didn't pay much attention to what she said anyway, and seeing as it wasn't necessary to hear her, I took out a meat cleaver and improved her. She could remove a gag, of course, since I left her hands free, so of course I had to get rid of that tongue of hers. But I made sure to chain and shackle her feet so she couldn't move. I'd hate to miss that gusto of hers, that emphasis. The thought she might leave me, might exit, was unthinkable. I can hear her banging on that old wooden door upstairs again, pleading with those fists of hers. You know, she sounds so beautiful when she talks with her hands. I love it. Da, 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 da.
And
job.
now I'm scared.
Yep. Well, Midnight, it's been nice knowing you, but I think I need to unfriend you because I'm kind of scared of you now.
No, considering I do the same thing, I'm gonna go.
I was just like, what's something that's kind of vague and nobody's written a story about? Oh yes, you're scared.
Sign language. That works.
I've got a friend who actually, when she gets really like into her songs, she'll sign the songs, and it's pretty cool to watch.
Nice. No,
Anyway,
I told.
so...
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. No, I told Alice afterwards. I was just like, so I wrote a story that you kind of inspired, and now she's just like, why? Why?
Why did
People
I
are going to
inspire you?
think that you just often murdered me, and I'm like, yeah. But it makes for a great story, though.
You're scary.
Oh, thank you.
I still love you, but I'm terrified.
Zambi, take it
Yes,
away.
okay, so this story is by a person named Milo Bogetic. It is on the Creepypasta, creepypasta.com. It is called The Story of Her Holding an Orange, Part 1. Now,
I believe that story is actually copyrighted. I don't know if we can actually read that one. Yes, that one's because the book has been published.
Tisk tisk.
Oh, I thought that
because it came out originally on Reddit, but the author has since actually published the full story.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, damn, because I really wanted to read that. Okay, then on to a different one.
That's why I was saying do it from Night Lore, because those Dimension Bucket has basically painstakingly gone through to find stories that you won't have to worry about anything except crediting the author, because they've agreed to that.
I actually have, if you give me a second here.
I can read a small story thing while you look for a pasta.
No, I have the one that I want to read. I just have to get to it. So.
Well, I mean, while you're grabbing that.
Okay.
It's like really short.
I want to hear Razil again.
It's called The Lone Branch by Well Hay Productions. If you've ever passed by a group of trees, whether it be the edge of a forest or a cluster of trees in a field, you will most certainly always find one lone branch jutting out awkwardly from the lush green foliage. You quickly dismiss it as just a section of the tree that has died and will probably fall off with a good strong wind. You continue to think this until you see it slowly recoil back under the leaves. And that's the Lone Branch.
Oh, wow.
Told you it was short.
Yeah. Gotta hand it to Murphy. He knows how to write a good story.
Okay. So, if you give me just a second here. I started this story series. It is technically a Jeff the Killer series, but it's one of the better ones that I've come across. It's called Beware Those Who Would Do You Harm. Credited to Angel Rocket. I started this a while back, but this is a little bonus thing because I'm not going to do the prologue or the epilogue on my channel. So here's the prologue for you guys. Anyway. Wendy ran as fast as she could. She had no time to stop at any of the houses that flew by as she ran, because she knew the darkness was closing in on her. Besides, this was all her fault. Her grave mistake. She had allowed the darkness into her life, and she wasn't about to lead others into it. Her parents had already paid the price for it. She blinked back tears as she remembered, just moments before, how she walked in and found the disemboweled bodies of her parents lying in a heap on the floor, and how a dark figure had stepped from the shadows into the moonlight, holding a bloody knife and revealing himself to be... No, Wendy shook her head as she continued to run. Now was not the time. He was coming for her, and she had to lead him as far away from her little hometown as possible. All of her friends and neighbors were there. She could at least save them. Wendy had resigned herself to her fate. It was what she deserved after all, but how could she have known that the one she loved most would turn out to be someone Something wicked. Wendy paused to catch her breath. She was standing in front of the cornfield that separated her town from the next one. Wendy thought back again to when she had first met him. She was always drawn to strange people, and the new boy in town definitely fit the bill. Everyone stayed away from him at school, so she was the only one brave enough to talk to him. It wasn't long before she had fallen hard. And despite everyone, including her best friend Abby, warning her that he was dangerous and so on, they began dating. Looking back on it now, it seemed like she had cared about him more than he cared about her. It was like he was void of any emotion. But Wendy didn't have long to reminisce. A whizzing sound interrupted her thoughts before she could turn around. She felt a sharp pain in her leg. "Ah, God damn it," she moaned as she fell to the ground. Upon examining her leg, she discovered a small pocket knife protruding from it. Looking up, she could just make out his silhouette in the distance. He always did have an impeccable aim. She gritted her teeth, pulled out the knife, tried to stand. Because the knife had hit her in the back of the knee, she knew that running would now be difficult. She also knew that he knew that as well. The silhouette was getting closer, fast. Wendy forced herself to stand, ignoring the pain, and limped into the cornfields, glancing over her shoulder. Glancing over her shoulder, she saw that she was leaving a trail of blood behind. It would most assuredly lead him straight to her. He must have predicted that as well. Oh, well, it didn't matter now. He was away from the town and her best friend. That's all that mattered. Finally, up ahead, she could make out what she was looking for. There was an old abandoned house in the middle of those cornfields. No one knew why it was there. Rumor has it that it had been there ever since the town was first established. Definitely looked hundreds of years old. It also looked similar to a plantation house, only not as big. Still, it was pretty big and spooky. No one, as far as Wendy knew, had ever lived there, or ever had any interest in buying it. She and her friends used to dare each other to spend the night there when they were kids. Who could have known that this would be her final resting place? Since no one bothered to lock the doors, Wendy staggered inside, slamming the door behind her. The pain in her leg was becoming unbearable. The loss of blood was starting to make her head spin. Wendy collapsed against the wall in the living room and glanced around the empty house. As she waited for him to come, she wondered what she should do. She had come here without a plan, only wanting to lead him away. But what happens after? How could she be sure that he wouldn't simply go back? No, she wouldn't let that happen. She had let the wrong one in, so he was her responsibility. It was all going to end here. Her head snapped up as the door slowly opened. She was out of time. Using the windowsill next to her, she managed to stand. The silhouette entered and, after locating her, calmly walked in. When he pressed her back against the wall and held her breath as he got closer and closer. The closer he got, the clearly she could see him, thanks to the light provided by the window. When he was just an arm's length away, she could examine him in his entirety. The bloody white hoodie, the knife that he had just used on her parents, the long black hair covering most of his face. Wendy wanted to look into his cold black eyes, but he held his head slightly down, making it difficult. Instead, Wendy glanced again at the knife that he had gripped in his hands, as if his life depending on it. "Jeff," Wendy murmured. Jeff slowly lifted his head. She could only see one eye, but its stare burned into hers. Carefully, she lifted a hand and pushed his hair aside. His face was made up like it always was, like the Joker. She had found his strangeness interesting, to say the least, but it scared everyone else to look at him. A demented clown is what her schoolmates had called him behind his back. "Jeff," she said again, "why are you doing this?" Tears rolled down her cheek as memories of their short time together flashed through her mind. "I don't understand. What did I do wrong?" she went on. I loved you, Jeff. I thought you felt the same way." Jeff said nothing. He simply took a step back and raised his knife, preparing to strike. Wendy nodded, realizing that she may never know. "All right, Jeff. If that's what you want. Just one more kiss before I go." Before Jeff could respond, she wrapped her arms around his neck and leaned him down for a kiss. His lips were soft, just as they had always been, but this kiss was different. He didn't return it. He merely stood there as she embraced him. Wendy dropped one of her arms to discreetly dig into her pocket. She gripped the pocket knife that he had thrown earlier, but did not pull it out. Up until a few moments ago, she wasn't sure if she could even use it on him. Now, she was definitely sure that she couldn't, no matter what he had done. Wendy let go of him and leaned back against the wall. Wendy studied his face, which was now dumbfounded, and his breathing quickened. She couldn't understand why. However, it didn't matter at this point. "Goodbye, Jeff." Wendy closed her eyes and waited. And waited. And waited. After what seemed like forever, she slowly opened her eyes. He was gone. Without a word, without a sound. The front door was open, wider than it had been before. So, she knew that she was truly alone. Instead of leaving right away, she sank to the floor and wept. And that was Beware Those Who Would Do You Harm prologue.
There you have it. There you have it, folks.
Nice. Good job.
Nice.
This is one of the better Jeff the Killer stories, in my opinion, because most of them are just, "Oh, look, hi, I'm Jeff, I'm killing you." But in this one, it adds character development, in my opinion.
So, yeah. There you have it, guys. We've gone on for a bit longer than 2 hours now. I think it would be safe to say it would be good to call it a night. However, for those viewers who are still here, we have a really big announcement for you guys for sticking with us for so long. On October 29th at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is different times elsewhere, on Laughably Dapper's YouTube channel, we will be streaming the very first, actually, episode 0 of one of our shows for Laughably Dapper. It will be a Halloween special to kind of give you guys a proof of concept and get you guys ready and pumped for when we actually go full-on production. It's going to be a long while, but we want to give you guys something to chew on, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as we have writing it and voice acting it. We will be doing it live. something that we won't do for all of our stuff. The majority of it will not be live. It's going to be a YouTube exclusive, so stay tuned for that. I will leave links everywhere for the YouTube channel so that you can keep an eye out for it. Yeah. So there you have it, folks. Was there anything else anyone wanted to add?
No.
I'm
Not
good.
that I know of.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for taking the time out of your evening to join us and have as much fun as we all had, enjoying reading those stories and playing Don't Get Me Started. We will see you again next week. All right? Take care and have a wonderful evening.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.